At one point in time, Poptropica was one of the most popular games on the internet, alongside and largely surpassing websites like Club Penguin, Animal Jam, Webkins, and Moshi Monsters. Poptropica was easily the most enjoyable and most successful website of the bunch. There was nothing else like it out there. So, what is it that made it so unique? And what led to its demise? This is a brief history of Poptropica, or as I like to call it, the rise and fall of Poptropica. Let's take this all the way back to 2007. A great year for inventions. iPhone, Kindle, PowerBuoy, Skybus, and Poptropica. There was a man living in Fort Washington at the time. He had just published his first book in April of that year. He said, "Hey, I've got an idea." Then he went to Pearson Education Inc., who he had worked with before, and said, "Hey guys, I have an idea." This man's name is Jeff Kinney. Some of you are probably thinking, why does that name sound familiar? Because that book he published happened to be the first book of the best-selling series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Poptropica was founded by Jeff Kinney, Jordan Leary, and another small team of developers. The base code for the game was written by Kinney, as well as the famous character design of big head, big eyes, noodle limbs, and lack of neck. The idea for the game solely belongs to Kinney. Poptropica officially launched in September 2007. A little background information. Poptropica essentially is an online RPG. I don't really classify it as an RPG, but you would explore different islands on a bright yellow blimp. Each island followed some sort of storyline and would give you goals to progress. Upon completion, you would receive the island's medallion. The first Poptropica island was called Early Poptropica and went live alongside the website launch in September 2007. Basically, you had to help the Poptropican pilgrims find their lost items. When you find and return them all, you would be given the island's medallion. This island was insanely easy, since it was the pilot island. The rest of the islands in the game go in order like this.
Sharktooth Island, Time Tangle Island, 24 Carat Island, Superpower Island, Spy Island, Booty Island, Big Nate Island, Astronauts Island, Counterfeit Island, Reality TV Island, Mythology Island, Skullduggery Island, Steamworks Island, The Great Pumpkin Island, Cryptids Island, Wild West Island, Would-Be Wonderland Island, Red Dragon Island, Shrink Ray Island, Mystery Train Island, Game Show Island, Ghost Story Island, SOS Island, Vampire's Curse Island, Twisted Thicket Island, Poptropica's Games Island, Would-Be Boardwalk Island, Lunar Colony Island, Supervillain Island, Truly the Chocolate Factory Island, Zombie Island, Nightwatch Island, Backlot Island, Virus Hunter Island, my personal favorite, Mocktropica Island, Monster Carnival Island, Survival Island, Mission Atlantis Island, Poptropicon Island, Arabian Nights Island, Galactic Hot Dogs Island, Mystery of the Map Island, To Make Failure Island, Escape from Pelican Rock Island, Monkey Wrench Island, Snagglemask Island, Reality TV, Wild Safari Island, Fairy Tale Island, Goofball Island.
And lastly, Jade Scarab Island. If you lost count, that adds up to 51 islands. People usually group these islands into different eras. The classic era refers to every island from early Poptropica 2007 to Astronauts 2009. This era was before the game was super popular and only had a handful of islands to choose from. The Golden Era refers to every island from Counterfeit 2010 to Backlot 2013. This era was when Poptropica was at its peak. In 2012, Poptropica had over 498 million players across the globe and was only looking up. Memberships were introduced in 2010 and none of the islands had sound. The Silver Era refers to every island from Virus Hunter 2013 to Escape from Pelican Rock 2015. This would have been my era of Poptropica, and it doesn't necessarily mean that these islands are bad, they just weren't as influential as the Golden Era islands. Virus Hunter was the first island to have a soundtrack, and around these years the home island was introduced rather than just going to the map with all the islands. It was a time of upgrade. The Dark Era refers to every island from Monkey Wrench 2016 to Jade Scarab 2022. These islands are bad. These are the end times. So, what happened? Poptropica really became Poptropica between 2010 and 2013. Since then, their active players have dwindled from millions to just thousands worldwide. In 2012 and 2013, there were even 2 Poptropica DS games. New islands were coming out left and right, with early access for members. The Poptropica store would update as frequently as you got new islands. It was a bustling community back in the day. It could be enjoyable for all ages because of the difficulty level displayed on each island. Often there were little references or sarcasm included in the lines that a child simply wouldn't understand, or pick up on rather. As of 2024, it has been 4 long and cold years since I've been able to play my favorite island, Mocktropica. Poptropica ran on an island called Flash Player. The original Flash engine had 2 different game scripts, ActionScript 2 and ActionScript 3. The islands that were coded in ActionScript 2 were the older ones from the Golden Era with no sound and a smaller screen. The ActionScript 3 islands were the ones that did have sound, so Virus Hunter until around Snagglemas. One odd day in 2019, Poptropica removed all of the islands, excluding a few that were remastered, that were written with ActionScript 2. This meant a good 30 or so islands were just gone. Their reasoning was that the islands were old and buggy, which, yeah, they were at times, but were still fun to play. There was a thing called the Old Island Directory, where if you had an account before the islands were removed, you could use the directory to hack your game on the website and get them back. It wasn't serious hacking, it just made an older version available to you. Unfortunately, this didn't work for any new players. It certainly was a self-sabotaging moment, and they lost many players through it. This hack worked until 2019. Poptropica developers bid their time a little too long in this case. Flash Player had announced it was shut down back in 2017, so instead of twiddling their thumbs and removing old islands, Poptropica should have been switching over the game to a different engine in 2019. They ended up moving to hacks, but not until after Flash Player was gone. Since the Old Island Directory had died with Flash Player, there was nothing Poptropica players could do but wait. Slowly, a few islands had been added back. Just 6 years ago, you had 50 islands to choose from. Poptropica jumps around now from having their own website to being a game on coolmathgames.com.
I'd go into ABC Yeah if I wanted to be on a stupid website like coolmathgames.com.
Mythology Island was one of the first to be added back to Poptropica, but it wasn't the same as before. It was dumb. Puzzles had been taken out. Arrows had been placed to tell you where to go. It was not at all the original Mythology Island. Ads started playing on the website between every scene change. Pretty ironic, if you ask me. Let's go back to our island list. Mocktropica. Mocktropica was an island where the Poptropica developers had gotten laid off and left the island unfinished. It was your job to bring them back to Poptropica HQ to finish the island. It was big on themes of consumerism, kind of Silicon Valley in a way, but the biggest thing is that there were fake pop-up ads contributing to the story. We're going to ignore the plotline of the pets that is actually real now because I just don't even want to go into that, but the fact that there are real ads in Poptropica now really says something about how far it's come, and not really in a good way. In 2024, Poptropica has turned into Mocktropica, into the very thing they were making fun of. The developers claim that this transition is keeping the much-loved game alive, but I believe they are killing it. It's sad to see such a great game go down this way. I'd like to think that someday it'll come back in all its glory, but I'm not hopeful.